State of emergency in Milwaukee, and businesses are unfortunately paying the price for the violent protest. Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and Pastor Mark Burns addressing the unrest on FBN just earlier. Take a listen.
Between Friday night and Saturday, 4 people were murdered in 9 separate shootings, and these same creeps, we didn't hear a peep from them, but all of a sudden, a law enforcement officer, fearing for his life reasonably, is confronted by an armed individual, and these people who exploit this thing, these cop haters, want to come out and riot. This was just a situation of opportunity for people to steal, to loot, and to rabble-rouse.
And this is what they're doing to their own communities, destroying their own homes, their own areas of life, but yet they're mad at the government for not coming in there and changing and making it better when they are they're the hand that's causing the destruction.
To Dr. Alveda King. Dr. King, we obviously saw this when Martin Luther King Jr. Was assassinated. And we understood the pain and how angry people were at the time. But over and over again, we see this scene, and people wonder, why are you burning down your neighborhood? Why are you burning down businesses? Why is this the reaction? And it continues to happen the same way. The same script always gets played out.
Charles, thank you so much. I lived through those days. I marched and went to jail. I marched with my dad, was in rallies with my uncle Martin Luther King Jr., Reverend A.D. King, my dad. And I would always ask, right in the midst of it, why were people destroying their own property and their own homes? I remember when Uncle ML, Martin Luther King Jr., was assassinated. I remember my father going out begging people, don't burn, don't loot. And yet we had burn, baby, burn, and black power. I do want everyone to know, please, viewers, understand that this is not worse than it was in the 50s and 60s, and we have not gone back. We've not lost as much ground as we'd like to think we have. And that's why Charles and I can talk to you today on this great network with this opportunity. So we've not gone back. Don't give up hope. But this ridiculous, violent reaction without thinking, because people, Charles, just think about it. If some of the people who've recently been shot and killed had been at work or at school, they probably would not have been shot. So this flawed system needs to be fixed. Put America back to work. This is still a great nation. And so people, out of frustration, you get angry and you just hit the thing that's closest to you. This has to stop, Charles. It has to stop.
You know, Dr. King, I'm with you on that, but I will tell you, despite this story, there's one in Chicago over the weekend that hit me more at home, I guess because I have a 19-year-old son, and a 19-year-old boy was killed. He was supposed to go back to college today in Chicago. He went to St. John's in New York, and I see these kids come home from college. They're good kids, and somehow they're murdered over the summer recess holidays. Often I think they're deliberately picked on. So how do you stop people from destroying themselves over and over again? And do you think that there's been so many excuses, whether people blame guns or people blame the economic conditions, because when you start to resort to just this indiscriminate violence that kills, it's almost self-genocide, I just can't explain it or condone it.
We are in a climate, there is racism, there is ethnic discrimination. Various ethnicities are experiencing various things. The class system, the caste system, all of this is going on. Perhaps, Charles, and this is not your case and prayerfully not mine, but some of us are doing our best to educate, inform, and teach our children how to maneuver in this society, but they don't have enough information as to how to do that. And, you know, we had that other conversation, and I got in a lot of trouble talking about white privilege, so I want to talk about ethnic privilege rather than just narrow it down to one thing. But the bean counting and the forecasting, where you take somebody's Social Security number or the first letters of their Social Security number or something and say, well, we won't lend in that area because they're not going to have the kind of money we need. Right. It may not always be skin color, but to make those kinds of decisions and forgetting that we're all human beings, Act 1726, we should treat each other equally. All of us should do that, Charles. We need to.
Yeah. Well, I think as the pool of people displaced or unfortunate continues to grow, and what's been a multi-decade sluggish economy, I think we're all feeling more brotherly love toward each other in that regard. But there's some issues, some specific issues that somehow we got to fix. Dr. King,
we need to go back to school. We need to go back to school. We need to be re-educated.
Well, we're not going to do it today, but I'm pitching a special, 1-hour special, and I hope they green light it, and if they do, I want you on it. Thank you very much.